have good news for you, friend. You do not need to live in fear. You do not need to live in shame. And in fact, you actually need to live boldly and freely with your gifts, using your gifts for your purpose. And we are going to break that down in today's video. But before we do, welcome in or welcome back if this is your first time here. My name is Taylor and I make videos on practical faith, practicing self-love, and preserving your temple. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe to let me know. You can even leave your thoughts below. Now, without further ado, let's get into what you came for. How are we going to talk about you living freely and boldly with your gifts and all that? We are going to find the answer in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 8. I'm going to start by reading the scripture, and then I'm going to break down what the scripture actually means, and then we're going to get into some practical life lessons that would apply to your life today. I only have 3 lessons for you today, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, stay tuned. Shall we get started? I think so. Join me, friends, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 8, where it says, when he ascended on high, he took the captives captive, he gave gifts to people. What is Paul talking about? Is he talking in riddles? Let's find out. I am going to be reading from my notes, because if I try to do this from memory, I'm going to mess it up. You're welcome. Okay, what is Paul talking about? Paul is continuing from the last verse where he told us that by Christ's grace, each of us received a specific gift. Here, he quotes Psalm chapter 68, verse 18, which talks about victory, salvation, and protection. Back in the day, when kings went to war and won, they would parade their captives and give gifts to their people from the victory. When Paul says Christ ascended on high, he's talking about his resurrection and ascension, where he rose from the dead and was seated at God the Father's right hand up in heaven. There, Christ was crowned and given authority over everything, including sin, death, and Satan. His victory over these powers changed everything for believers. The things that once held humans captive were defeated, and Christ freed the captives and stripped the powers of their authority. So going back to Psalm 68, we see that with his victory, Christ gave gifts to his people, and each gift is unique, intentional, and purposeful. In a way, these gifts are like war trophies from his triumph over the captives. So now, let's break that down a bit further in our practical life lessons to see how we're supposed to use that in our lives, what we're supposed to make of that. Starting with number 1, Christ is victorious. So we are too. Hello. Jesus defeated sin, death, and Satan. So no matter what trials we face, Christ has already won that battle for us. We don't have to live in fear of failure or defeat. So I feel like the best way to think of this practically is like when you're going through trials in life with other people, like when other people are mistreating you and you're like, who are you talking to? Why are you treating me like that? Has this person lost their mind? When you're feeling like that, someone is mistreating you and you really want to clap back, you really want to get your one off, like you're about that, don't, because their works are not good. But your works will be good and you don't have to fight back. You know why? We're going to find the answer. We're going to take a field trip to Romans chapter 12, verse 19. I'm going to get my other Bible because I had it open. 19. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. You know what that's telling us? We don't need to get nobody back. We need to leave it in God's hands. And you need to think of it this way. Either you can get them back or God's going to get them back. And if God gets them back, you can't get them back. But if you get them back, God's not going to get them back. And I want you to think. If you had a choice between you getting someone back and God getting someone back, don't you think whatever God's going to do is much better than anything you can do? That's why you have to live from a place of knowing Christ already won. So when people are doing bad against you, evil against you, when people are mistreating you, you just got to give it to God. Take it to God in prayer and let him handle it. You know how I like to do it? Because I know it's easier said than done. But you know, it gives me peace of mind when I'm not necessarily seeing what it is that he's going to do. I know that I've already won. So I don't need to see whatever he does. I mean, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Excuse me. But what I like to think is like, God's probably gonna give you a big, painful pimple on your vagina. That's what I be thinking. It gives me peace. It gives me peace and helps me calm down so I can remember that vengeance is the Lord and I don't need to get them back. I don't need to clap back. I know easier said than done, but you gotta give yourself like little mental tricks to help you walk the walk. And just know you are operating from a victorious position because you are with Christ. You don't need to stoop low to get no one back. You don't need to stoop low to meet someone on their level when they're being rude, disrespectful, mistreating you. You don't need to meet them at that level. Rise above, okay? Rise above. All right. Next lesson. Christ freed us from captivity so that we could live boldly in freedom and purpose. Captivity is like fear, guilt, shame, and addiction, things like that. They no longer have control over us or power. You can release toxic habits, past mistakes, and limiting beliefs because Christ already won. We get to work confidently and pursue our goals and dreams using our spiritual gifts to serve others and grow. So, you know what that means? Captivity is when you have those thoughts that you're not capable of doing something like, you're made in God's image. And if he planted a seed in your mind, an idea, he believes you can do it, which is why he gave you the idea to begin with. So how dare you try to live from a place of captivity when Christ already freed you? You are empowered to do what he has set on you to do. Chase your dreams. There's a reason it's your dream. Because when you really think about it, when you have big dreams about doing certain things, have you ever noticed that you don't necessarily have big dreams about doing other things? Like, for example, my big dream right now is pursuing content creation. I've never had a dream about pursuing being a doctor. I've never had a dream about pursuing being a pilot. I've never had a dream about being a musician. Well, I guess for fake when I was a kid, but like not seriously. I've never had a dream of being an actor. Again, for fake, but not like seriously. Not the way I feel about what I'm doing now. You have to kind of remember that when the Lord plants ideas in your head, he's already equipped you with everything you need to jump on that idea, especially if it's fruitful, because we're only talking about fruitful ideas, okay? Only fruitful ideas, disclaimer. So you have to release the limiting beliefs that you can't do something. Why can't you? Because you've never seen anyone in your inner circle doing it? Be the first one, shock them all. Be the example they need to see to know it's possible for them to chase their dreams. You just need to have faith. Release those limiting beliefs. Christ did not free you from captivity for you to still be living in it. You don't have to live with fear that you won't achieve something. You don't have to live in You don't have to live in guilt that it's not something you should pursue because it's going to make other people feel X, Y, and Z. That is not your problem. Hello. Your focus, your priority is doing what the Lord set on your heart to do, okay? And you should chase it freely, boldly, unapologetically, okay? I also want to talk about like addiction. Addiction does not have to have the strong hold on you that a lot of people think. Like if they're really into drinking, they feel like that's a habit they can't break. It's as simple as a decision, honestly. You decide and then you actively start taking the steps. Maybe smoking or doing edibles. Decide, ask the Lord to take that away from you, like the taste of that thing away, and he will. I know, because I was using edibles and I felt like there was nothing wrong with using them, and all of a sudden I started feeling convicted about it. And then what really helped me start feeling convicted around it is in my area, they started planting dispensaries everywhere. Super accessible. I said, oh, I know this ain't no good. Because anything super good, it's really hard to get, you know? Things that are not so good for us, easily accessible. So that was another indicator that, that's not what I should be doing. And the last time I had used them, I felt very far away from the Lord, and I never wanted to feel that way again. So I made the decision that I wasn't using edibles anymore. And funny enough, the Lord took the taste away from me. And it reminded me of like a few years ago or a couple years ago. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while. Because I used to drink alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol in years. And that's because I made the decision that I'm not drinking anymore because I didn't think it was fruitful. Because every time I was drinking to get drunk. And not to say that was an addiction, but that wasn't good. The Bible literally tells you not to get drunk. So I made the decision I wasn't drinking anymore because alcohol don't even taste good. I was like, well, if I'm not drinking to get drunk, what am I drinking it for? Lord completely removed the taste from me. I don't crave that. I don't crave edibles. Like, shoot. I'm almost close to asking him to remove the taste of sugar from me, but it tastes so good. I won't be asking for that. I won't be asking for that. But we can overcome addiction. Addiction does not have the power over us that we think it does. That's all in the mind, and it's a limiting belief. If you decide something, you can do it. You just need to have the courage to walk it out and not just say it from your lips. But it does start with saying it in your lips, believing you can actually do it, and then operating from that identity. You have to identify yourself as being able to do something before you could ever walk into it. And that's a bar. All right, let's move to the next lesson, the final lesson of today. Our God-given spiritual gifts are unique and intentional. Christ gave you specific strengths and talents for a reason. They are for your purpose. Don't compare yourself to others. You have all the tools you need for your assignment, okay? So I want you to think, what comes naturally to you? Chances are that's one of the talents and gifts God gave you, and he wants you to use it for your purpose. He wants you to use it for good, okay? Like, are you really good at fitness? Like, could you help people become more fit, steward their body well? Are you really good at numbers? Can you help people grow their businesses, do their taxes, and whatever else numbers are used for? Numbers are numbers. I don't do the numbers. I do not do the numbers. Are you really good at cooking? Could you make like recipes to share with other people? Because they really need help in the kitchen. They need help making some healthy recipes that taste good, because no one's problem is really eating healthy. Everyone's problem is they think eating healthy would taste bad. So can you solve that problem for people? Does that come natural to you? There is a guy on TikTok, I don't know his name, but there is like an Asian guy on TikTok, and he makes videos cooking, but he relates everything he cooks to the Bible. All of his dishes are inspired by the Bible. So his videos are him chefing something up and talking about the Bible and how it relates to that dish. I said, my Lord, who would have thought someone would do a thing like that? Again, not a seed he planted in my head, but a very fruitful seed he planted in that man's head. You see what I'm talking about? Don't be looking at other people and comparing yourself, because their gifts are not your gifts. Their talents are not your talents. Their lane is not your lane. Stay in your lane and figure out what talents and gifts the Lord gave to you. Because once you figure that out and tap into it, no one's going to be able to do it like you, baby. No one's going to be able to do it like you. I feel like the gift God gave me, I love to yap. I love to yap. And I love to yap about the things I'm passionate about. Here we are on YouTube, yapping. Here we are, and this is just the beginning. I got other things up my sleeve. So think about what you're naturally talented in. Think about what you are naturally gifted in. What are you supposed to be using those talents for? And don't downplay yourself and think whatever you are talented in is so small and oh, nobody cares about it. You don't know what people care about until you show them something new. People love to see new stuff. They be bored with the regular. Listen, people don't know what they need until you show them something. And then all of a sudden they're like, I could use that. All of a sudden they're like, I am into that. All of a sudden, I do want to know more about that. So don't limit yourself. Get rid of those limiting beliefs and stop doing the world a disservice and holding your gifts back from us. Don't be selfish. Do not be selfish, okay? So tap into the Lord and figure out what gifts he gave you and figure out how you're supposed to be using it. Once you start thinking that, he's going to start depositing ideas. The closer you get to God, he just be unlocking ideas. And I'm speaking from experience. The Lord just be dropping ideas and nuggets in my head. I'm like, Lord, you are going off right now. I want to do it all. It's impossible to do it all at once, but it's like, I got like 30 years worth of ideas in my head, okay? I can't produce them fast enough. But they're all fruitful. They're all from God. And I'm grateful that he would give me things that I feel like I can actually do. things that would not be tedious or mundane. I mean, getting it, the groundwork will probably be tedious and mundane. Hey, but you gotta go through valleys. You gotta go through valleys to get to the mountains, okay? So what did we learn in today's video? Christ has won the ultimate victory, freeing us from captivity and giving each of us unique gifts to live with purpose, okay? So I want you to go live out your purpose. Tap into the Lord and see what you're supposed to be doing, because I promise you, it's gonna make life that much better. I'm speaking from experience, because I'm speaking to you from a place where the dreams I'm believing God for have not happened yet. And faith is the evidence of things not seen, okay? So it's like you have to see it in your mind and start walking it out before anyone ever sees the evidence that what you're pursuing, what you're doing is fruitful. You have to believe in it enough to keep showing up for it when you don't see no evidence. And that's where your faith is really being tested, because if you had the evidence of everything and you was able to just go along easily, what would you need faith for? What would you need God for? Because you're believing in what you're seeing. Faith is not in the eyes. Faith is in the heart. Faith is in the mind. Have enough faith to believe what he told you, what you can see, and not what you can see, okay? It takes that. And oh yes, that's what I was gonna say. I'm speaking from experience, because I'm living a very average Joe life right now as far as going to a regular job that I don't want to be at no more. And I'm believing God for something bigger. So I'm just taking the steps before I even see the evidence of that stuff. So when it do pop, just know. Said it here first. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. And if I can have this type of mustard seed faith, I pray you can have that mustard seed faith too. And you can start using your gifts for something good. You never know what's going to pop. The world is hungry for new stuff all the time. And you never know. Your target audience is waiting for you. Hello. They are waiting for you to come along. So I pray this encourages you to step out on faith and do what you're supposed to do with the gifts Christ gave you, okay? Do not disappoint. Do not disappoint. Okay, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I pray it was fruitful and encouraging for you. If you did like it, give me a like to support my channel. I just told you I'm trying to get out the trenches, help a girl out. And leave in the comments your thoughts of today's video or anything else you want to sprinkle in. I would love to hear from you. Give me a subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I drop videos every day as we are tiptoeing through Ephesians, and when we're done with Ephesians, we're going to Galatians. So join the journey, friend. Join the journey. I would love to see you here again tomorrow. And bonus, if you're interested in a 2026 faith-based affirmational calendar or a Drink the Living water cup, I don't have any next to me, you can check them out on my Etsy shop, and it is linked in the description below. I love you, and I'm so grateful that you spent this time with me. Thank you for listening and spending my Bible study with me. I hope to see you again. Bye.